Hi, this is Elani. The Cuckoo Guys, that's us. You've probably been wondering where we've been for the past year. If I were you, I would be too. We have a story to tell. Here we go. Our journey started 7 years ago, but you've only known us for the past two. 2014 was one of our greatest musical years because that was success in our eyes and in the eyes of our country. Back in 2010, we were signed to a label. We were dropped like a hot potato 3 years later because it just didn't work for reasons that are not really important right now. But fortunately, we found a way to stick together, and in 2013, we released our first album, Barrier Dunia. One of our most fantastic achievements in life. We're very passionate about what we do. We love to sing. We love to tell the stories behind our songs. Some of them are our own stories, but we don't highlight whose story it is, especially the heartbreaking ones. But we love to tell those stories. And we love the fact that you love to hear them. You give us so much energy when you come up to us and tell us how much we have uplifted you, how much we have touched you, and how much we have made you a better person. That clearly confirms to us that is our purpose in life. And we will continue to do that despite how difficult sometimes it is and how difficult sometimes it gets. As our year came to an end back in 2014, we decided to put out a concert. We dubbed it Share the Love because we wanted to give you all the love that you had given us. It was one of the most exciting times of our lives because we prepared for 6 months and the concert was mind-blowing. The support that we got from our fans was incredible. You came out in large numbers, and for that, we thank you. Unfortunately, at the end of it all, we were millions of shillings in debt. It was heartbreaking for us because this is a thing that we loved to do and we still love to do. And we were hoping that at that moment, it would show us some love back. And it didn't.
We began 2015 being in debt, and we are very, very grateful to the corporates that came and gave us gigs, and we were able to clear the debt. But sadly, after clearing the debt, we sat down, the three of us, and we actually realized that there's actually a problem. Why can't we make money off the other avenues that are very open to artists to make money? And so we took a break and actually tried to figure it out, like what is actually happening, because being artists who are signed under MCSK, we're entitled to royalties. And we actually wanted to find out, okay, so how much money do we have after paying out everything? So do we have enough money that can sustain us to live good lives or better lives?
Even just comfortable.
Yeah, even just comfortable lives for life. Music is a job like any other job. And from any other job, you're entitled to a certain amount of compensation or salary. So for artists, the way it works for musicians, we write a song, we register a song, and from the song, from the airplay it gets, we get royalties. The Music Copyright Society of Kenya is mandated with collecting and making sure that they distribute the compensation or the monies owed to the artists after a certain period, like let's say like a year. And us being Elani, we had a very, very successful year in 2014, and we thank our fans, we thank everyone for the support that they showed us. So as Elani, all our music is registered, duly registered under their system.
And this is where the problem came up, because we realized the check that they gave us, which was a check for 31,000 shillings, which was supposed to be the value of Elani music playing everywhere for the period of a year, didn't make a lot of sense to us. And we questioned the amount, I think, only because we happened to be in debt.
If we weren't in debt at the time, I'm not sure that this would have come up. But we realized that there's something wrong. This didn't feel right. It didn't feel like the amount of money that I'm supposed to receive, especially seeing as 2014 was such a good year for Elani.
2014 meant Kuku, it meant Milele, it meant Barwea Dunia, it meant Zuzu, it meant Hapazamani.
Yes. And it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense that this is the check that we are receiving. So we brought it up. And we went into the offices of the Music Copyright Society of Kenya and we asked them what it means. What is this? Give us the logs. Explain to us why this is the amount of money that we are receiving. I'll be honest and say first of all, we received 2 different sets of logs for the same period of time. And then
they don't even monitor all the radio stations.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. They said that they don't monitor all the radio stations. Even when they do, sometimes radio stations lie and give false logs, which we found out when we called radio stations, because we are very lucky and we are very glad to have very good relationships with radio people. And we called the media outlets and asked, okay, so what's going on? MCSK is saying that you guys don't give correct logs so that you don't have to pay the right amount of money. And we're told that's a barefaced lie. They always pay. If radio stations always pay and leave radio stations, if banks, if taxi owners, if bus owners and matatu owners, if salons and kinyozis and event organizers, because when we were doing Share the Love, we were to pay MCSK. If everyone gives this money into MCSK, why isn't any money coming out? Where is it? Where did it go? And that's the question that we raised, and we went into the office to ask. And they gave us the logs that they gave us, and we walked out and started to call radio stations and tried to figure out whether these numbers made any sense. And a few days later, Brian got a phone call, and we were offered a compensatory 300,000 shillings. And that's when we realized,
there's a problem.
There's a problem. Because if all it takes for me to get 10 times the amount of money that you gave me is for me to scare you in an office. And if 300,000 is what you're giving me after 5 days, tell me, how much is it that's available? Because there's no regular company moving forward in any it's not even a company. There's no, because it's a collective management association. It collects your money and it's supposed to dispense this money fairly to every artist registered underneath. If it is giving out money in a fair manner, where do you find 300,000 bob from?
How did you arrive? Yeah. How did you arrive at that amount? How did you feel that was the amount?
That is enough.
What did you analyze to decide that Elani deserves 300k? And if Elani deserves 300k and all they're getting is 30, how many artists are there who deserve 10 times what it is that they receive?
Only because they don't come and ask, you know?
And that's the problem that we had. And there were such discrepancies between the logs that we received at MCSK and the logs that we received from radio stations. Even within MCSK, people were saying different things, and it didn't make any sense to us. Because any creative work that I do, any creative work that I go ahead to register, I should then be entitled to receive money for that work. That's how it goes. I have created it. Any revenue generated from it should come back to me as creator. What MCSK has done is it has collected money and then, from what we can see, found a way to shift and dodge paying out to the artist. And now we're calling it out. And it's become a situation where we're not asking for very much. We just need transparency. We need it to be open. We need you to show us what the monitoring process is. How much do you collect? Where do you collect from? How much do you spend with your salaries? How much do you spend during the collection of that money? How much is left? And the amount that is left is the amount that you're giving out to artists. We are very happy to say, and openly we'll say that we received 31,000 shillings, right? And everything else that we received was supposed to be a compensation. But otherwise, any amount of money that I receive from MCSK, I'm willing and able.
You can open our books. You can open it to the world. Let them know how many times our songs played on X radio, on Y radio. Please. That's what we ask.
What we need more than anything is transparency and accountability on the part of MCSK to show us, because you are mandated as an organization mandated to protect a right that I am entitled to.
And the law provides for that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
any artist who's there who has their work copyrighted and they have, just know that you have a right to go and ask for your compensation.
So we are calling on MCSK's leadership. We're calling on Maurice Okoth, the CEO. We're calling on Ben Mukaisi, the chairman. Let us know. Open up the books and use a reputable audit firm to open up the books for MCSK and show us what is going on.
And I'd kind of like for us to see the bigger picture here. This is not only about Elani or the artist or the MCSK. It's about our country. The arts is supposed to be one of the ways in which the government assists the youth of Kenya to be employed. And that's why we need to see this for more than it is right now.
So we call out to you, Honorable Hassan Mario, please intervene, because enough is enough. We are tired. We feed off music, we live off music, and it is the only way forward for us.
This is where Elani has been. Thank you for listening.